Alright, folks, so I believe I just done a video on Jimmy Dore like 2 days ago. I want to say it was exactly 2 days ago. And basically, it was a video on Jimmy Dore really going off on Bernie Sanders, his campaign advisors, because basically he was really ticked off, it seemed, that they didn't let his voice rest for 48 hours prior to the debate. Now, he seemed to have a lot of anger harbored there, a lot of anger, and it was really weird. It's like, nobody else is responding the way that you're responding. It's really weird what you're doing right now. You seem to be overly angry, overly critical, not, especially when you're not really, giving the campaign much praise in general. It is clear there is an underlying sort of thing here that we're going to be looking at in a second here. But Jimmy Dore has once again shafted Bernie Sanders. He's completely erased the man, okay? Completely erased him, all right? And in favor of Tulsi Gabbard. Now, if you remember, there's one thing Bernie has not done that Tulsi Gabbard has done, and we will get into that in a second here. But you guys see, what we got here is a tweet, all right? Tulsi Gabbard sent out a tweet where she said, Trump awaits instructions from his Saudi masters. Having our country as Saudi's beach is not America first. So this is a great tweet. This is actually a rehash of her old tweet where she just straight up says, being Saudi Arabia's beach is not being America first. And it was a great tweet. I really liked the sort of bluntness of it. I like the fire that comes with it. And I respect it. It's an awesome tweet. I love the tweet. It's really cool. And if you guys don't know, basically Trump revealed that he was waiting for the kingdom to to tell him what to do, which is like, whoa, this is the craziest tweet in all of Twitter history because you're admitting on Twitter publicly that you're a sellout to the Saudi kingdom. It's like, whoa, that's pretty crazy, bro. That's pretty insane. And so, she responded to that tweet by saying that. Now, Mr. Dore responded. He says, is there another Dem candidate with this kind of clarity on foreign conflict or Saudi? Nope. I think there's someone you're missing, Jimmy. I think there's someone you're missing, okay? That man's name is Bernardino Sanders. I think that's the man you're missing. And it's so unbelievable that he would say this on this issue because what was Bernie Sanders doing, all right, just some months ago? He was championing a resolution which I believe would invoke the War Powers Act that was, passed. I believe it was under, forgot if it was under Nixon or if it was under Reagan or I forgot who it was under. But, it was going to invoke that to basically make it so that there could not be any more aid in the conflict going on between Saudi and Yemen. So we would, completely cut off support. Now, the first time, I believe it got passed in the House and then failed in the Senate. Then it came back again. Bernie brings it back. It passes both the House and the Senate. So that means it goes up to the president. What did President Donald Trump do? He vetoed it. Now, I remember that Bernie was trying to override the veto. I don't remember if it happened or not, but they maybe have had 2/3 in the House, although I'm a little bit iffy on that. And in the Senate, there's no way they had 2/3 to veto, override the veto, unfortunately. But again, Trump is a sellout to his Saudi, I don't know, money makers. They stay at all of his hotels. I think one of the floors of like Trump Tower or something is owned by the Saudis, if I'm not mistaken. Someone correct me on that if I'm wrong. But, he's a complete sellout. So the idea that you would just completely erase Bernardino Sanders from this issue, as if the man wasn't working his tail off to, end the aid that the United States is giving to Saudi and its conflict in Yemen, is quite frankly disgusting. But we're going to really do a deep dive into who Jimmy Dore is, okay? Because there are some qualities of this guy that are really embarrassing. They're really sad. And it's just downright stupid and embarrassing, okay? So when I referenced earlier, I said there's one thing that Bernie has not done that Tulsi has done. Bernie has not come on Jimmy Dore's show, okay? And that has pissed him off to no end. And he is so petty and such an immature, petulant child that he will allow that to cloud his judgment on Bernie Sanders, at least publicly, that is. And so Tulsi Gabbard has came on his show, although I don't know when the last time she came on was. I think she herself might be distancing herself from the Jimmy Dore show because it seems like, she hasn't gone on anytime recently. I don't even remember the last time she went on there. But she went on. She gave his show a shout out on the campaign trail. So, if you just think about it from the mind of like an immature idiot, there's a presidential candidate who's literally giving you shout outs on the campaign trail. And then there's another one who won't even come on your show. And remember, he just did an interview with Kyle Kulinski like a couple days ago or something. I think even less than a week ago, if I'm not mistaken. Sometime recently. He's been on the Minority Report like 2-3 times. He's been on there more than once. He's been on there 2-3 times. He's been on TYT, obviously, multiple times, etc., 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 okay? So, I had done this video, 6 months ago, something, maybe like that. And in this, it's titled Jimmy Dore's Weirdly Shafting Bernie Sanders, which is funny because this was posted back in mid-February. And we're here now in mid-September. Funny enough, this was posted February 18th, which means exactly, the same day, which is obviously February instead of September. But in this, I included some clips that really go to show just sort of how petty this guy is and what he holds against Bernardino. This first clip is going to be Jimmy Dore basically saying that he's not going to be donating to Bernie Sanders' campaign.
Johnson.
Joining late, but everyone is telling us to donate to Bernie's potential 2020 campaign. But how do we know the DNC won't cheat?
You don't.
You don't.
You don't. That's the thing. I keep getting these things to I'm not fucking donating.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I'm not donating. Nope.
Sorry.
I can't do it. There's no progress.
Okay, so that clip right there shows he donated to Tulsi Gabbard. Not only did he donate to Tulsi Gabbard, he sort of really aggressively campaigned for other people to donate to Tulsi Gabbard. So he's down to donate to Tulsi. I guess he doesn't care about the rigging there, but he won't donate to Bernie Sanders, which is very weird. So, of course, there's some petty stuff going on. Now, we'll skip this clip right here. But there's actually this clip of him where he's on Aggressive Progressives, this former TYT show, and he is actually basically just outright talking about how he's salty that he won't come on his show.
Party is not letting this happen.
Even Bernie Sanders, right? We've been trying to get Bernie Sanders on the show. And, his campaign, his guests got their head up their ass. And they can't wait to go on Chris Hayes and Rachel Maddow, who shit on them every frickin' time. But someone who actually supports them is going to help to get their message out. They shun them. I hope you effing lose again.
So as you see there, he basically...
No. Right? Bernie's advisors are 60-year-old frickin' white guys who are in a bubble. Look how long it took them to get here. They let the Democratic National Committee completely rig the system.
So it goes on for just a couple more seconds. But as you can see, to understand, folks, he literally right there says that he hopes Bernie Sanders loses again because he goes on Chris Hayes' MSNBC show and all the other mainstream media shows, but won't come on Jimmy Dore's show. Now, obviously, the thing is, you should definitely go on, TYT and stuff, and so, did it take them a while to go on TYT? Yeah, I think so. But the importance of getting your attention over on the mainstream media is to rather somewhere where everyone already, is basically supporting you. It's way more important for him to go on Chris Hayes' MSNBC show, or just any mainstream media outlet in general, whether it be Fox, MSNBC, CNN. Those are far more important because he gets obviously a further outreach, and he gets to have access to people who aren't necessarily going to be voting for him. So the idea of not prioritizing that is stupid, because obviously in significance you want to get more outreach, and you get more utility out of actually going on places where everyone isn't already voting for you, so you can convince other people and reach out to other people. So this is obviously a very stupid comment from Jimmy Dore. But, what's just sad about this, to me, is that you would allow your judgment to be clouded by something so petty. Like it's ridiculous to me. He's so dumb. He has so few brain cells that he is not even smart enough to do an optical sort of assessment, right? Because optics are a massive thing, all right? And that is just how are things going to be perceived, all right? That's always got to be something that you look at in situations like this. He's so dumb, he's not even smart enough to make himself look not like a petty D-bag. He can't even do that. He can't even be like, you know what? I may be butthurt as heck that Bernie won't come on my show, but I'm not going to publicly make it clear, essentially, that I want him to lose if he runs again, and that, I'm erasing his existence because obviously there's an obvious direct line of him not coming on my show. That's the only reasonable answer. You would imagine that he would be smart enough to know that, probably good for my image not to make myself look like a petty D-bag, which is just crazy to me. It's hilarious. But, he's also a very passive-aggressive guy as well. As you guys know, he'll like YouTube videos going after TYT folks, Cenk Uygur, Anna Kasparian, etc., etc. He's a pretty big PA guy is what he is. That was definitely him. So he's a petty D-bag. He's immature. He's very childish. He's very stupid as well. I was watching one of his live streams quite a while ago, where there was someone who was asking whether or not he should go to like a really good school or Ivy League or something like that. And he basically said, Abe Lincoln was self-taught, so you don't need to go to college. Jimmy Dore says he watches all the greatest physicists online, so he doesn't need a college education. I think there's anything that indicates, education is a good thing. It's knowing that Jimmy Dore didn't get any education. You don't want to be as dumb as Jimmy Dore is. You definitely don't want to be as dumb as he is. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on this down below. Pretty embarrassing to watch this petulant child, allow his judgment on a presidential campaign be biased and influenced by whether or not the said candidate came on your show. I mean, it's just pure comedy at this point. It's sad, though. It's sad comedy.